Hey guys, Mo here with Mango Dogs Carolinas. We got a call from some dog owners here that need our help. Their dog is very dog aggressive, has put 4 dogs in the hospital, and they've seen multiple trainers with minimal results, and we're seeing if we can be the last resort to help them. So we're just over here at their house. We're gonna walk over and see what's going on. Just come on over. Hey, Ed.
Whoa.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Teresa?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Mo.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Guess we're gonna come inside to have a chat. All right. Beautiful home here you guys got.
Thank you.
And she's friendly with people?
She's friendly with people.
Okay, you can come and let her say hi.
She's a good girl.
Hello. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Come here.
All right, guys. Guess we're here to talk about your dog. I just have a couple questions for you, kind of better understand what's really going on. So I just want to kind of start with the first question. Is that cool?
Sure.
All right. So can you kind of start telling us a little bit about your dog and what issues you're having?
Yeah, so I mean, she's an incredibly sweet dog. However, anytime we encounter another dog, she gets very, very aggressive. She's attacked other dogs. It's been severe, and you know, it doesn't really matter whether they're aggressive or not. We're kind of stuck between 2 families in the backyard that both have multiple dogs. So you know, we have to walk her in the backyard on a leash, because otherwise she'll just hit the fence and go crazy, right? So every time we take her out to go to the bathroom or whatever, it's always on a leash. Walks are, you know, she's wearing a muzzle, she's wearing a choker, her collar, and then
Prong collar.
prong collar, thank you. Just to make sure that, you know, we can keep her under control, right?
As best we can.
We don't want her attacking anybody else's dog, we don't want her to hurt anybody else's dog, right? So we try to take as many precautions as we can.
Yeah. for
Obviously, you know, it's no way to live, right? It's not like we're taking her hiking or anything like that, which is what we had originally planned on. So, in a nutshell, that's pretty much it.
Sure. Okay. And you know, how many times would you say that she's gone after a dog when you're around or since you've had her?
She'll go after a dog just about every walk that she sees a dog.
Yeah.
And-
She's had 4 occasions where she's actually injured another dog.
Wow. Can you kind of take me through it?
Yeah. So the first time it was just, you know, seeing a dog down the street and she jerked my arm and I ended up dropping the leash and she ended up nicking the dog's ear. So not horrible, but obviously not behavior that we want our dog to engage in. And then probably about 10 months later, it was around Thanksgiving, she went after my brother's dog, who was an older golden retriever, you know, not really provoking her other than just being here, you know. And she went after her and she actually bit her in the neck several times. So they spent Thanksgiving going to the emergency vet
wow.
each day. And then a couple months later, she got loose on a leash. She bit through her gentle leader to where she wasn't restrained at all and attacked a dog down the street. It was a smaller dog, so severe damage there. The dog had several puncture wounds. We had some muscle skin separation, I think it was, or something. Just really, really bad, right? We ended up having to pay their vet bills, so it was not great, but thankfully the owners were pretty matter of fact about the whole thing, and as long as we were paying their vet bills, then they weren't real upset with us somehow. And then probably Labor Day weekend it was, I think. She had been playing all day with my husband's daughter's dog. And while we thought they were dogs that got along, because they played together multiple times and they played together all day, at the end of the day, she kind of turned on him when he was ready to play still and she was done. And she got aggressive saying no, that she was done, and she nicked him a little bit. So obviously that didn't go over very well. So yeah, so that's that could have been a whole lot worse, but you know, we aren't letting her hang out with other dogs now because we can't know for sure that she's going to be safe even around the dogs that we feel like she's been safe. She's pretty unpredictable.
Right. Okay, well, sorry guys that happened to you guys, and I know that's a pretty bad situation to be in. But thanks for sharing, okay? So how do you want your dog to behave now versus how she's behaving before?
So we need her to not be aggressive.
Okay.
Period. I mean, seriously, I want to be able to just, not have a muzzle on her or anything. Want to be able to walk her just normal. Want to be able to go for a hike.
Right.
You're going to pass dogs in somewhat close proximity on the trail and that kind of thing. And not lunge after the dogs. I want to be able to let her play in the backyard and enjoy the yard, right? I mean, it's a good sized backyard, and she can't enjoy it because she hits the fence if either side of the dogs come out,
Yeah.
So, and I mean, when she hits the fence, there's times where she injures herself as well, right? So, that we just want to be able to have a normal life with her, and be able to do things calmly and not have to be on edge all the time.
Sounds like what most people want in their dogs, right?
It's a little normal.
Have a normal dog, right?
Right.
All right. Well, thanks for letting me know about this one. All right. So the next question is, what type of training have you done in the past to try and curb these issues, and why do you think that these issues were not resolved in your prior training programs?
So we've had her in. We've had her at one trainer where they did the at home. She stayed at the home for 2 weeks.
Board and train?
Right, and then follow-up classes. And that was with the e-collar and everything. She came back obedient, but when we would take her on the walks, we still had the pulling and the aggressiveness and that kind of thing, right? Why do I think it didn't work? I think that they weren't set up to be able to handle a situation like that, right? And the reason I say that is because we've had about 4 trainers out to the house since then to do assessments on her, and they're pretty much like, hey, good luck, you're gonna have to put that dog down.
Wow.
So we're trying everything possible not to do that, and so
this is where you are now, is that right?
where we are.
That's where we are.
Okay, so yeah, that's pretty deep. I mean, we never choose that option for euthanization. I think behavior modification is the most effective, most important thing to be thinking about first, unless there's a situation where a dog is having a disease where it can't control itself or it's super unsafe, but that's very, very rare in most occasions, right? So I'm sorry again that you guys are going through all this stuff, okay? The next question is, how much money have you invested in your dog up to date for all the training and damages that have gone through here?
Over $10,000.
And that's training alone, or that's a combined everything?
That's a combined number of training, vet bills for other people's dogs.
Yeah. And then I
She had to have shoulder surgery.
Wow.
Right. So
You go on a really amazing trip with $10,000.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, guys. Wow. All right. So, what other options do you have at this point?
Well, I mean, we can just keep her in the house and live with it, right? Or put her down. Really. I mean, like I said, if we have 4 trainers come out and just say good luck, they're not sure what you're going to do with that.
How did that make you feel?
Yeah, it's tough because we're very attached. We love the dog. She's been with us for 2 years.
About 2 years. Yeah.
So obviously we don't want to put her down. But I have absolutely scoured everything I can possibly get my hands on to try to find somebody to be able to help us. And so far, everybody said they weren't able to help us.
Roughly, how many trainers have you called in the Charlotte area?
Called.
Or emailed or contacted?
Yeah, I've probably called 10 trainers. We've had 4 out to the house, and those have just been, the reason it's only been 10 is because I haven't been able to find anybody that alludes to the fact that they will work with an aggressive dog, right? So anybody that said we handle aggressive dogs or we take everybody or whatever, those are the people that I called. And all of them told me, yeah, no, we can't take her.
Even the people who told you that they could
Absolutely.
deal with aggressive dogs.
Even the people that said they specialized in it.
Wow. Okay.
Had special programs for it.
And they still turned you down.
Yes, they did.
Okay. So my last question is, why are you choosing Mango Dogs to be your final option?
You're the only person that told me you could work with a dog.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
You know, your website says you deal with aggressive dogs. You're gonna prove it with this one, right? You're the first person that spent quality time with us and said you could fix this. So we see you as the last option.
I can fix this, but with your help. You guys are the biggest component into this equation, right? You guys live with the dog, you guys spend time with your dog, you're controlling, you're the leaders of this dog, right? And Stella, she's a great dog. You can see she's just hanging out, you know, she's just minding her own business, right? But we have a problem when we go out there.
Right.
So you're gonna have to do the homework that we're gonna be giving you. You have to give us 100%. If you think that you can go into this doing 75% what we tell you to do, with the magnitude of the type of dog that you have, some folks can get away with it. But with you guys, you've gotta really do everything, because we won't know if that piece of the puzzle is working or not. Because we have different pieces to play. We're gonna try a certain program, a certain process, and we're going to go from there, right? We're gonna see if this card is working, and if it's not, we're gonna try different cards. Because there's not one way to train these dogs. There's a million ways. Anybody tells you that they know everything about dogs, they're flat out lying to you. I don't even know everything about dogs. My mentor, who's one of the best in the world, who specializes in reactive and aggressive dogs, doesn't know everything about dogs. We know enough to problem solve behaviors and get dogs to coexist in people's lives, but there's so much to learn and there's so many different ways to go about it. So we're gonna go with our game plan, and just be prepared to be patient. If we have to switch it up in the process, we're gonna communicate with you, and it's a big team. This is a team effort, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, and the camera guy. Thank you, right? So thank you guys for answering all those questions.
Sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
Cool. So guys, this is our first session for aggressive rehabilitation program, okay? As usual, we want to build enough foundation in your dog before we put her in situations where, you know, we're going to have to nip the dog aggression and her reactivity in the butt, right? So you don't go and doing the math test without learning your basics, which is your adding, subtracting, multiplication, and division. If you can't do those, don't show up to the math test. You're gonna fail miserably, right? Mm-hmm. So we wanna build up at least 2 weeks of foundation, right? So we can get her equipped and build up a little bit of skills. So when we put her in that position, she'll have something to do when she pops off. We'll get her to do something else completely, if that makes sense, okay? Mm-hmm. So this is the first week, so we're gonna be working on something called e-collar conditioning, okay? So what e-collar conditioning means is just meaning that we wanna show your dog what the e-collar means, okay? And there's something called the 4 pillars of e-collar training, okay? The 4 pillars of e-collar training are, the very first one, so this week we're gonna be working on recall on leash, just to condition the dog on the e-collar. Every dog knows how to come. Some dogs will blow you off because they feel like they want to sniff the bush or not. But we're going to just get her to come to us, right? And we're going to do an exercise outside here shortly to show you what that looks like, right? So the 4 pillars of e-collar training that she'll learn today is, the first one is, where does the tone come from? This little sound. And where does the stimulation come from? That little stimulation that we felt earlier, right? Does it come from the ground? Does it come from the sky? No, it comes from mom. It comes from dad. It comes from Mo, the trainer. Check. Okay, that's the first pillar. The second pillar she'll learn today is, why is the stimulation getting turned on? That weird feeling. Why is it? It's kind of annoying, or it's weird. Why is it getting turned on? Well, it's getting turned on because mom or dad or Mo told you to come with a tone, and you decided to blow us off. So, blowing off the come command, stimulation got turned on. Check. Okay? The third pillar is, how do you turn off the stimulation? Mm-hmm. So if I tell you to come, beep, you decide not to come, you say, I'm going that way, okay? And the pressure gets turned on. The way you turn it off is by just make the attempt to come back. So making that attempt to come right back, the pressure goes away. Boom. And then the fourth pillar, which is the most important, it's the biggest learning curve, is how do I avoid the stimulation altogether? When Mo or mom or dad says come, I come back right away. And what happens if you come back right away? You get rewarded heavily. We're going to be using with food. You can also use treats, but in this case, we're going to be using her food, and we're going to work her this way with food. Make sense?
It does.
Okay? And we're going to get right to it. This is the first session. We're going to be working on e-collar conditioning on leash, which means that we just want to use the word come as an exercise, and we're going to condition the dog using the 4 pillars of e-collar training. And just to kind of readdress them, the 4 pillars of e-collar training are, the very first one is, where's the tone? Sounds like a beep. And where's the stimulation come from? It comes from me. Check. Second pillar is, how do you turn on the stimulation? Well, when I tell her to come and hit tone, and she decides to blow me off, the stimulation gets turned on. Okay, stimulation gets turned on when I blow off come. Check. The third pillar is, how do you turn off the stimulation? By coming. Okay, if I come, the stimulation goes away. Check. And how do I avoid the stimulation altogether? That's the big learning one. When I say come, I hit tone, she comes back right away, and she gets paid every time. And even if I had to use a little correction, I'm still going to pay her for it because it's not a punishment. I just had to give her a little guidance to tell her to come to me using a little bit of stimulation. All right, so I'm going to get going, okay? So it looks something like this. Come. Good. Good girl. Good girl. So she's associating come with tone. Come and then beep. You heard that from over there, right?
Yeah.
That's one repetition. Didn't use any stimulation. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do it again. Come. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. And I'm motivating, and it's a positive experience, right?
Right.
You're getting paid. You're working for your food. She needs this. Dogs need to have a little job. I give her first job right now. Just follow me and you'll get paid. When I say come, beep, you come right away. No stimulation needed so far, okay? Don't worry about the food, just leash in hand. Come. Good girl. Yeah, that girl. You can keep walking back and then stop and then feed. This next module, what we're gonna be working on is teaching place. And the reason why we teach place is because it helps with impulse control. The controlling a dog's impulses when it wants something really bad. So in this case, we have a dog that's dog aggressive. Its impulse is to go after and react to other dogs, especially if she doesn't like the dog, right? So we want to build some good impulse control so before we can get her to walk past dogs, we want to teach her something called place. And what place means is, it means, it's a 2-part command. It means the first part is go to your bed. Okay, that's phase 1. And the second part of it is stay in your bed. So it's actually an implied stay command. So go to a boundary, a place, and stay there. That's what place means, it's that one word, until I release you. So we have place is going on, and we use a word for her to come off. A lot of folks like to use the word okay, or yes, or break, or free. Which ones do you guys want to use, or what do you use?
We've been using free.
Okay,
Sometimes
so-
she gets it, sometimes she doesn't.
So we'll use free and to do it, and that'll be her release word. Okay, 1, place. Good. Sit. Good. And feet. So before I leave, I'm gonna have my finger on the red S button. Drop the leash. My finger is there, and I'm gonna walk away. She's on a back tie, so we'll see what she does. Good timing, huh? Okay. So I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna stop right here. We got dogs that just showed up, which is pretty dangerous at this stage because we're still early, but we'll see if she's still paying attention. So as I'm holding right here, I want to tell her, good. And I'm gonna walk right back over to her. Remember, pick the food over the stress. The stress is over there. If she's hungry enough, she's gonna pick this over them, right? Good, and feed. That's 1 repetition, I'm gonna walk away. I never said the F word, the F-R-E-E word, sorry.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right here. Good. Hover for 5 seconds. It's a patience game. Hold your nerves, hold that impulse. Good. Still pick the food. So this time I'm actually gonna release her. My finger's still here, but I'm not gonna use no pressure. We haven't used any pressure. But I'm gonna release her with the big F word. F-R-E-E for the camera. And I'm gonna feel her for coming to me, okay? Free! Yeah! Good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl! Big party. Yeah, good job! Right? Because it's a big party. She just did a big thing for me. And that's the biggest distraction ever. That's bigger than all this. I don't need to use this because she just
Yeah.
did it here.
That's
Yeah.
literally why we're doing this.
Yes,
Yeah.
right? So like we're not off the hook. Don't think that.
No.
But she's doing great. She's showing us some good brain stimulation. Like she's impulse control was really good right there. Really good decision she just made. All right, guys. So this week we're going to be working on leash walking and nipping the reactivity and those poor decisions that your dog's making. Dog's making decisions to go after other dogs. And it's also, we want to tighten up the leash walking part where she doesn't pull on a leash or she's not zigzagging and she has a little bit more structure in the walk. So like I said earlier, there's 2 rules of leash walking, okay? The first rule is you can't pull on a leash and you can't hit the end of the line of the leash. It should be a loose leash at all times. The reason for that is we're preparing you when the variable shows up, which is other dogs. That's our main issue, that she's not hitting the end of the line and that she's not zigzagging and getting all worked up. She has some structure built, and we can use those skills when those variables show up. So she has a different job to do. Her job is not to hunt, okay? Her job is to follow mom around and follow dad around. So my finger on the red button, because I'm getting ready for it, in case she hits them that leash. Sit. Good. Sit. Good. So be surprised. Sometimes you'll feed, sometimes you won't, right? Come. Sit. Good. You always want her hoping that, you want her to hope that there might be food involved, right? Not always going to be food involved, but always hoping, hey, I might get something for doing the right thing. But you see, as a handler, what I'm doing is I'm having a leash really like this, like it's like noodle, right? Spaghetti. Barely even holding it. And my finger is right here. Pressure's on, pressure's off. She put a little tension on the leash. So I'm going to level 12 right now. Sit. Good. Come. Good. She checked in. She got a little far and she put the brakes on. Sit. Good. Dog right here. Make her sit. Make her do something else. Okay? Okay, might be a reaction here. Loosen your leash up, Jenna, just a tad. Not that much, not that much. Just a tad. Keep that loose. Let her make that choice. Okay, the nose kicking in. Good, and go right back where you came from, Ed. Great stuff, guys. Good. All right, so on the count of 3, we're gonna go and stop 6 feet, okay? 1, 2, 3, go. Keep your distance in case anything goes down. Okay, Ed, I want you to offer her food right now, okay? Man, great job, bro. Great job, man. This is amazing. Okay? Offer her food. Go ahead and feed, yep. Everyone on the outside, just tell your dog, good. Watch out, she's kind of checking things out. Have your finger on that. That's okay. She's curious, more of her using her nose. Okay, she's kind of fixating. Just be careful here. Okay, so on the count of 3, I want you guys to use your release word and actually go back this way. You stay right there, okay? 1, 2, 3, go. And feed. Give her some food.
All right, so guys, we just finished our last session of private training with Mo at Mango Dogs. I'm like speechless right now. I don't even know what to say. So before, we could walk her. We've been through a lot of training with her before, but she was extremely aggressive. Squirrel, rabbit, cat, especially dogs. If dogs got aggressive towards her, she would literally pull us and try to take the dogs out. She's gotten a hold of a couple of dogs and really messed them up. We've paid lots of vet bills. Today, we went for a great walk. We just went past a boxer, and the boxer kind of started to pop off, and she made the decision. She popped off. She tried to pop off, and then she decided not to. And that's been the whole thing that we've been looking for this whole time, is to actually see the training work.
because she changed her mind. She's the one that made the decision. I want to go after it, but I'm not going to go after it. And she came right back to me. Walked her past her one more time, and she just stayed right on my leg. Did not want anything to do with that dog. Don't touch her. We've taken her around other dogs, around Mo's dogs. She's doing amazing. She is doing fantastic. So I'm looking forward to working with Mo more. I know that we have a lot more work to do. We'll be at the Saturday classes, the public classes. But Mo, this has been amazing, man. I mean, she's a brand new dog, and we needed this because we couldn't take her anywhere. We couldn't do anything with her. You know, she was going to stay in the house. We got her on the leash to go to the bathroom in the backyard, right? So now she won't touch the sides of the fence. We've got dogs on both sides of our fence. One side is very, very aggressive with 3 dogs. She won't even look at them. She doesn't want anything to do with that side of the fence anymore. She's turning out to be the amazing dog that we wanted, and it's been months, years.
It has. It's been quite the transformation and the behavior that we've seen from her, with the direction from Mo for sure. Because before, like knowing that we can walk her loose leash, and she's not gonna, pull or jerk or make us uncomfortable taking her for a walk. That's huge. It's such a stress relief because we were trying to figure out what else we could do with her because we were about the end of our rope. So huge transformation, and she's happier, we're happier, a lot less stressed out with her. So it's been pretty amazing. So
Man, I kept showing Mo that this is how we walked. I just held my hand like this. This is how we walked the entire time, and we take 2 40-minute walks a day.
yeah.
And
that was
it's just
not
this.
that was not possible for even after the other training. We couldn't loose leash walk her like that.
Well, I'll tell you this too. When Mo was our last resort, right? We didn't know what else to do. We've had 4 other trainers to the house, and they all told us we're probably gonna have to put the dog down. So that's what we were looking at. So I would say, Mo, I think you saved the dog's life.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it.